G'day everybody, so Jury94 here from Quicksave Gaming, and welcome to the very first Dungeons & Dragons stream. As you can tell, this is the very first, and we still have technical difficulties that we were working through, so if anything does arise, I do apologise for that. It's the first time that we're doing this live. For many of us, it is the first time we've played Dungeons & Dragons. For some of us, we've played it before and we're experienced, but overall, it's just going to be a good time. We're going to have a bit of fun with it. It's nothing too serious. And the campaigns are quite flexible. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who has arrived here tonight. Straight off the bat, it's great to see chat blowing up there. And with that, we won't be able to respond to chat pretty much the entire stream. We're going to try and stay in character as much as we can and try and complete the immersion as much as we can throughout the stream. So I'm sorry that we do not engage, but feel free to chat with each other in the chat, have a bit of fun with it. And, it's going to be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it. So our DM is DesieTTV. He's put a lot of effort into this campaign. So he's a really, really great guy. So I'm really excited to see where this campaign goes. So without further ado, let's introduce everybody to the cast. Hey, everybody. You're all on camera now.
Hey.
So Jason doesn't have a camera on because he is the DM. He's just going to be the narrative voice in the stream. All right, Jason, without further ado, let's go.
Oh, excellent. Thanks for having me. I hope you guys are all excited. We are going to be playing a mix between an adventure that I put together and a book. So anyone in the audience that knows or hears some familiar names, please don't ruin it for any of our players. I've tried to mix it up, and everyone's D&D experience with every campaign is always different. So hopefully there won't be any predictable things happening for anyone that does know. I think now we're going to just jump straight into the world and the campaign, if everyone's ready. Is everyone ready?
I'm ready.
Everyone's here. We all have
our
drinks.
Is Chad ready?
We're ready for
I'm ready.
a bit of story time. Let's make a story. So our story starts in Saltmarsh. It is a fishing village tucked away on the south coast of the Kingdom of Cuillin. Several generations of Cuillin was a formidable military power. Its superior cavalry and bold knights pushed out the kingdom borders, west, east, south. Each successful campaign increased the crown's wealth and power. Over time, they pushed too far, and they were pulled back in by external forces and things. And now they aim to be prosperous in trading and in fishing and in mining, things like that. Spread too thin. That's the general premise of where you guys are at. Here we go. So King Skottic has declared that the pirates must be put down as they look internally instead of externally and pushing their borders out. They looked back on the regions they deem worthy of defending, and the pirates in the region that they were neglecting for some time took over and made too much of a name for themselves. So now they've turned inward, and they're now dealing with the issue that is in front of them, which is the Sea Princes. Saltmarsh was once just a remote fishing village that prided themselves on all those on fishing, primarily farming and trading. Has now been forced to be involved in more than what they bargained for. With the crown now showing up in droves and a new military power being established inside of Saltmarsh, many of the locals aren't too happy with the developments that are happening inside of the small, once left alone town. This dingy fishing village homes roughly 5,000 residents. It's predominantly human, with a dwarven mining contingent of about 200 workers, which is its largest non-human faction in town. Elves and halflings draw no special notice and attention because the forest nearby, Silverstrand, hosts wood elves of an enclave of around 750 elves. Also, the halflings villages tucked away in the hills around make up about 100 and 150, which are a big part of the farming district of the town. More folk in town work in the fishing industry more than any other, and it has been the backbone of Saltmarsh for generations. The wealthiest family own boats, while the less to-do folk hire out as dockhands and work in the fishmongering markets and things like that. The docks of Saltmarsh are the beating heart of the town, and this is why the docks have recently undergone a series of expansions, including intended to allure more merchant vessels and bigger vessels, so the dwarven mining contingent that's nearby is deporting and exporting lots more minerals and ore and things like that. Law and order is held up by two groups, the local Green Reefs and the newly arrived Crown's Guard. But this town has had plenty of combat. Unlike other coastal towns, the civilians will keep to fight what's theirs, and they'll muster their own militia if needed. But they have rules. They have a council that they all adhere by, and all the figureheads of the council are of different factions. So whatever is unanimous goes in this town. Further to the south, the town of Seaton. The folks of Saltmarsh point to Seaton as an example of the fate they want to avoid. For years, Seaton was about twice as large as Saltmarsh and enjoyed a prosperous fishing industry. When King Kimbus Scotic turned his attention south to deal with the sea pirates, his admirals chose Seaton as a location of import for military as a military base, essentially. Seaton has been transformed from a fishing village into a makeshift fortress, heavily fortified, and is where all of the naval power of this kingdom resides, and which is where they exclusively deal with the sea princes from. The lands around Saltmarsh are filled with peril. Most of the region is untamed wilderness. Even through the kingdom of Cuillin has its ambitions. It is focused in the south. Most of its focus is at the sea, which means the land is now neglected. The Crown does its best to keep the roads safe, especially with all the trading, but otherwise it is generally left to the tribes to defend, which is why the Wild Flame Pact of the elves, dwarves, halflings, orcs, any sentient creature of the region will help defend the inlets, because the surrounding town is essentially a big forest wraps around, and it makes coming and going by land very hard, very difficult and unsafe, which is why the sea is the main defense point. So yeah, the love of the Azura Sea, is the pride and joy of almost everyone in the region, and is the most important thing to most people that you ask in town. So with that, I hope that gives a little bit of a detail. It's a bit rambly, but I hope that gives a little bit of detail of the region and what it's like. Yeah.
Cool.
So we can pull up our sails, we can drop our anchor, and we can get ready for a little tale. If we're all ready to start, we're going to jump over. We're going to start today. This is a session 0, so we're going to start with each character individually. Jiff, you're going to be first up, and we're going to paint a little bit of a picture here. So, Jiff, it is in the middle of the night. You've just snuck out of a ginormous forest, being the mischievous elf that you are. We are now going to transition. Sorry, Jiff is Alice. I'm introducing Alice. You snuck out in the middle of the night, and the moon is bright. It's a very bright night. High grass moves out, and you come out onto the track overlooking Bruley, a town established by the elves and everyone as a convoy point and a spot between humans and elves to move goods around. What would you like to do?
Sorry.
Sorry. First of all, what does everyone see? What does your character look like?
So I'm a a wood elf. I am got short silver hair, blue eyes. I'm decked out in normal leather gown, like elven gown, so brown with like golden trims as well. I always carry 2 swords with me and a bow, and I always have a wine flask on my left hip because you never know when I need that little bit extra courage to actually sneak in and do some sneaky stuff, and that gives you the boost of confidence that I need. So yeah, and I'm always trying to run around and get information where I can.
Mm-hmm. So looking above, like looking forward, you now see the small little encampment, big walls going around it. The doors are almost always open. There's a flame, a small flame flickering from the inside, and the smoke is barreling out from the top as you approach. As you approach Bruley, you know in there an Ent resides.
Yeah.
And do you want to head on in? What do you want to do?
Yeah, so I'm going to go in there and
Mhm.
try and act normal, walk in there. I'm going to go walk up to the end and we'll try and walk up to the end and everything as well. And I'm going to say hello because I've known the ends for a
So,
little bit.
as you pass through the gates, to your left, you see maybe about 11 high elf rangers who are just knocking arrows into their bow, shooting it into the ground. A few of them are eating. They got wine, plenty of wine. It looks like a night off for them. To the right, you're immediately glared at by a elf that you know. Her name is Kira. She glares at you and doesn't say anything. She's just watching you walk in. As your eyes shift off her and you look at the main central building with the roof busted open. It's a big 2-story house that would have had a glass roof, but there is a ginormous tree sitting out of it. And he's almost like a bit of broccoli or something. His roots are hanging out the top. And it's creaking and moving, its face and eyes not looking at you yet, but seems to know that you're there. As you approach, Kira comes up and just rests her hand on your shoulder, and she's like, "Snuck out again, Alice."
Yeah, and I'm like, yes, because things have been troubling me lately. I've noticed a few things around this town, and I've heard whispers throughout different areas of the places we're in and everything, and the things that are happening. I think are going to, I think have been impacting with all the events that have been happening around this town. And if our town's not going to do anything about it, I want to sneak out. I want to investigate. I want to like find out answers what's happening around here.
Hearing all this information, she's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" She's like, you 3-4 times. I've kept this quiet, but we don't need to have you going out. We have our own military. We have our own patrols. We don't need you." As she says that, the big hulkus Ent turns around and he's like, "Alice," as he extends his arm down and he puts it right in front of you, almost like gesturing you to jump on top of his hand. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, so I want to say wander route and quickly jump on, have a good old chat.
So he's like, and as you jump on, you're like, "Wonder," and you jump on. Kira's just sort of glaring at you, sort of almost annoyed. You jump onto the hand. Wanderroot pulls you up and just sits you on the shoulder. So now what you see is the whole forest that you just came out from. The moon hitting the tops of the forest, just a ginormous greens and light blues. It's all very cold up here. You've gone from the castle walls where there was no wind to just now getting almost blown around. The bits of bark and things just flying off him and almost magically sort of moving around in the air and doing these little swirls and things as you look down at Kira. Kira looks up at Wanderroot and she says, "We don't need her. We have our own. We can do this ourselves." "Anyone that wants to defend the region can defend the region," and moves as his hand swings down and his foot steps over the big building, and right in front of Kira, she just sort of snarls and scoffs her head and goes and joins the rest of her rangers. Now you are now moving with Wanderroot down this path as he's slamming his ginormous feet down and he's making his way towards the town, and he just simply asks, "What are you looking for, Alice?"
I wonder.
What troubles you?
What troubles me? So there's been things that have been happening around this place, and it's been going on too long. I do realize patrols have been going out, but people aren't coming back the same, or people are just not coming back at all. And it's been happening for too long. Things aren't changing, and I think someone needs to go out there and investigate what's happening and everything. And instead of sending a party of like 5 or 6, a party of 1 to go around and actually do this and do reporting and everything, rather than sending a whole group and who risks many more lives rather than just risk the one.
His eyes, he's got one eye looking down the road and he's got one eye looking at you up on his shoulder. And as he's moving, he says, well, as he continues to move towards the direction of the town, and now as you've turned away from your forest, you can actually see the ocean from his shoulder. It's small, but you can see it. You're roughly about a day's travel away from the ocean, but he is so tall and so big that you can just see in the horizon the ocean. You can't do this alone, Alice. And he rips off a bit of bark just from the back of his neck that was like bright green. He's a very dark wooded color and no leaves whatsoever. He pulls off this one little green piece of bark, and in his hand, as he's pulling it towards you, it starts to shape itself, and he pops it into your hand, like just holds his ginormous hand out in front of you, holding a tiny, tiny little twig, and hands it to you. He's now given you a piece of it. He says, "I'm dying, Alice," and he's going to give you the last piece of him that is alive. And he puts the bow into your hands and stops. He says, "Don't worry about Kira." As he takes you off and puts you on the ground, he's like, "You need eyes wherever you can. My eyes are always with you." And he puts you down right on the road on the crossroad, and he turns back around, takes like 2 massive tree steps, and just like looking over his shoulder. Did you want to say anything?
Yeah, so I look at the bow, then look at the bow and look up, and quickly yell at his name and go, "Wondery, thank you so much for this bow, or for this stick, and everything. And thank you for your magic in this. I'm so sad to hear that you're dying. We've known each other for a while, and you've been the one person I trust in this village and on this adventure. I will treasure this like no tomorrow." And then grab the old bow I had and just take it off and throw it to the side. This means nothing to me. This one is the one I'll actually treasure forever. That's just the old bit of timber. We don't care about that. We just keep this one, and I just quickly put it on and say, and I'm assuming he's just still towering over me. And I walk up to his foot and just tap on his foot, like, "Thank you for being there, my old friend. I hope you find peace in the next life." Or
he says, "I'm not dying yet, Alice," and then keeps walking. And it takes like two steps off, but he goes on to explain a little bit more, just out of character, that he's just no longer regenerating like a tree would. He takes a couple of steps away, and he starts to head back to. I suppose the best way to describe it is his nest that he's made in Bruley. He steps over the tower wall, which you can see, and he steps his other foot over and sits back, and then the movements of these massive tree just stops moving, and he's back into his like resting place. As you turn around, Kira is standing right behind you. She followed you with she followed you down. She says, "If you're going to go there, I need you to find information for me."
What information would you like me to find? What specific things are you looking for, Kira? I thought there was nothing I can do for you.
She rolls her eyes as like a you guys have obviously had these conversations before, so she's kind of annoyed, I guess, but she's let me have a quick look here. Just one sec, sorry. Okay. I need to find Duke Ferlin. He's tied up with a group called the Scarlet Brotherhood, and he is my first lead. My scouts tell me that he's moved from Seaton into Saltmarsh. While he resides there, if you're going to be out and moving around, if you could pick up some information and bring it back to me, I'll pay you.
How much? How much is my time worth to you?
She rolls her eyes again. She's like, let's see how valuable the information is first.
No, I want to quote first.
100 gold pieces for any information that leads to the prosecution of him being involved with the Scarlet Brotherhood.
Can we go 120 and we call it, and we'll say anything more?
Roll me persuasion. And then just obviously just say what roll you got for everyone.
14.
Oh, it comes up. We can all see it.
14?
Yeah.
How much did you ask for?
120.
120. 110.
115.
Deal.
Okay.
And she shakes your hand, sort of like, begrudgingly.
She away. Go like.
Yeah, absolutely. She goes to attempt to shake your hand, and you just slap her hand away, and she's just a deep breath. Roll perception for me.
13.
You hear the trees and bushes and stuff move around you, but that's really it. As you look to your right and left along the road, and the trees and bushes that outline the road, Kira just sort of like and whistles as the trees and bushes all move away, and then she just walks by herself back towards Bruley. You are now left alone on the path. You have the bow. It is middle of the night. It's probably going on 1 a.m. What would you like to do?
I think to myself, should have stuck with the 120, but it's okay. We're gonna walk for. I'm gonna walk for an hour. I'm gonna walk for an hour towards the city, towards Saltmarsh, to start this investigation. And everything as well. I walk for an hour, then look up to the sky and look up to the moon. Which is assumed, and look up to the moon and think that it's really late at night. I should really take a small rest before I actually continue this adventure to town. I'm assuming I'm a bit of walk away still.
So it's about a day and a half, 2 days from Bruley to Saltmarsh, and then the Dwarven Mine is probably about the same. So it depends on where you want to go. If you still wanted to go mine, is about the same, but from the mine to Saltmarsh is about a day-ish.
So I'm probably going to go, I can think to myself, I should honor this, because I want gold. I want money. I'm broke. So definitely going to head to the Saltmarsh and try and do some investigation and try and claim this gold from Fort Kira as well, and see if I can stick up some further information, see if I can up the price a little bit as well. So I'm going to walk at least probably an hour, then look up to the moon and really think about I should actually really take some rest, because it's been a long day already. I've just said goodbye. Well, I said farewell to my dear friend Wanderoot and everything, so and I'm going to take some time to reflect until early in the morning for about 5 hours rest.
Cool. All right, we'll leave your character there for now while you have set up like a little bit of a camp, is from the way I envision it. Yeah.
Camp.
Cool. So in your inventory and stuff, you may have like rations and things like that. Just drop it all by one, things like that. You get like a bedroll and things like that. Anything that's sort of like what you want to do in your camp. Just like, I'm not going to be too crazy on you, but just go and deduct it for yourself. Cameron.
Yes.
How are you going?
Pretty good.
That's good. It is about 10 at night. You are at the Dwarven Mine. You're at a makeshift bar / bungalow sitting outside on the wooden table in the sludge and muck as the dwarves are all starting to retire. The guys who finished early passed out on tables and benches. The makeshift barkeep who is struggling to keep up with the demand of 200 thirsty dwarves at the end of every shift. No one's taken notice of you now, but when you stand up from the table, drawing you into that mine, what does everybody see?
So I'm a half-elf human. I got sandy mid-length hair, so sandy colored hair. I got azure or like a purpley like colored eyes. Very pale skin, quite scrawny in stature. I usually have neat and tidy hair, reasonably well dressed, in like elven, or not elven, but like in like a robe, and it's usually quite neat and tidy, with a mace hanging off my hip. However, at the moment I'm looking a little bit disheveled. My hair's a little bit, it looks like it should be maintained, but it's a bit frazzled, and my clothes are a bit untidy as they normally would be.
So there's, now that the dwarves have all gone to sleep, and with your, not all gone to sleep, there's still some wandering around, and you've got the Crown's Guard are not in full force, but they're like back from the perimeter of the mine, like holding these points where they're traveling in groups of 2 and intersecting, moving around, any sort of makeshift wooden barricades and defenses to just hold back just random creatures and things that may come out of the woods surrounding. There's something calling you into the mine, and with your archaeological background and ties with the dwarves, it is the first night that you've been in the mine. You've had like a walkthrough of the mine, and you've seen the outlay of the mine, and you've seen all the different chambers that they're working on so far. But a particular chamber definitely stands out to you. What do you want to do?
Yeah, well, I'll explore in. My curiosity gets the better of me as this feeling overcomes me, so I walk in.
Do you want to sneak in? Are you just going to walk on in? What are you going to do?
I'll just walk in.
Okay. So as you're walking up to the entrance of the mine, just one of the drunken dwarves who's just sort of sitting there at the front entrance, he just like looks up at you and he's like, "Bit late for work, isn't it, elf?"
Come on, I saw something that was worth investigating in there, and it's just been on my mind.
Anything that's worth taking has been taken.
No.
Always elves. And he just goes on to ramble about himself, just ramble off on himself, just any bloody elves thinking they can find a thing better than the dwarves. And as you walk on into the mine, as you walk on in, it is definitely still in construction, but there's water from the Azurish Sea coming in at all these different points. So they're almost like clogging, as they go deeper, they're clogging more and more holes in the rocks and all that sort of stuff. There's these chambers that are started and then they've stopped, almost like the direction, go there, nothing there, go over there, nothing's been committed to at the moment. But as you move down, you follow the water down, you come up to like a central chamber. The walls are leaking with water that are pooling at the grounds, with buckets everywhere that dwarves have been. You've walked in about, you're probably about 10 minutes into the mine, so you've gone down a little bit. There's buckets everywhere that they've been using to throw the water out and cart water around the bottom of the mine, things like that. Inside the stream, something like catches your eye. Just the way, just above you, there's a crack where the moonlight's just coming in. It's very picturesque inside there. Something catches your eye. You reach down and you grab it in the water. As soon as your hand touches the stone and you pull it out, for a moment, nothing happens. You're just holding this black stone, no bigger than a large tennis ball in your hand. And then all of a sudden it starts to shrink in size. It starts to move in, and now it's the size of a golf ball, but it's moving into your hand as your veins start to go black, and it starts to, your veins track down your arm, the gemstone's shrinking and shrinking and shrinking until it's completely gone. Your right hand, the hand that you used to pick up the stone, the tracking this black veins going down through over your shoulder into your chest, then it expands out like in a big wave, boom, around your whole body, down your arms, down your legs, and then your all your veins are black, and then within a second, it all just retracts, goes into your chest, up and through your neck, and into your eyes. Your eyes now black, and you're just seeing smoke and steam, almost as if you're looking through a portal into another dimension. It's a barren wasteland. There is just like dead trees and things falling over with gusts of wind everywhere. Anyone that's seen Lord of the Rings, when like Frodo puts on the ring, it's just windy. It's going everywhere, and then all of a sudden, like a blip, you're out of it. You look around, you look at your hands, your chest, your legs, you're patting yourself down almost as a flustered elf. Just, like, what the, you know, no idea what's going on. As your hand, you tap your chest, it's like, yep, human, ting ting, and it goes over, and you look down your shirt. The black stone that you just had picked up is now residing just ever so slightly, sticking out of your chest in between your pecs.
What the fuck?
You're now standing in a pool of water in the middle of the mine. What did you want to do?
I just like take a couple steps back and trip over, and it's like that, like pulling my shirt so I can see down, and I'm like trying to tap at it and like trying to pull it out, and like frantically trying to see what's going on with this crystal that's stuck in my chest, and I just don't know what to do. And then like it's just like I just keep tapping at it, keep trying to pull at it, and then
so as you're frantically touching and patting yourself, one of the Crown's Guard, a patrol, came in with that drunken dwarf from before, standing behind him like, there he is, he's trying to steal some silver. I seen him come down here.
I turn around, so I'm like, try to contain myself, and I say, I'm just going to call this this dwarf Gregory, because I assume I know his name. Gregory, you know who I am.
You don't know his name,
I don't
but
know
you
his
can
name.
call him Greg.
Okay,
No,
Gregory.
you don't.
And
I'm gonna say you're kind of wide-eyedly.
I'm gonna say,
Grego.
I'm gonna say this in Dwarven, and I say,
Okay.
I'm the supervisor from the Crown that investigates for archaeological and historical works in the mines to make sure we don't damage anything historic in both Dwarven and Elven culture.
Nice. Roll persuasion.
I've never actually. I know this is going to sound silly, but how do you roll in?
So you just hit where it says persuasion,
Yep.
then click on your little number modifier, and it will roll the dice on
yeah.
your screen.
Got it. I got 11. Sorry.
An 11? Cool. He, back in Dwarvish, says, yet to be seen. We'll leave that to the supervisors in the morning, and then just gestures for the Crown's Guard to come down. As the Crown's Guard start to walk towards you, what do you want to do?
I stand up and say, look, I'm serious. That's why I'm here. I saw something that I needed to investigate before the mining started tomorrow, and I needed to find out what that was in case anything did get destroyed.
So you're like, please, as the one guard links one of your arms, the other guard links your other arm, and they start to escort you out of the mine.
I'll go with them without like fighting it.
Well, right as as they link you hear in your head a sharp voice just say, run. And it just pierces your head and your mind, but without you even knowing or seeing these two black arms move out, like those veins again shoot down your arms as like a black mist comes off your arms, as your arms, without controlling it, fling the two guards either side of you, one slamming up against the wall and the other landing in the water. One guard slams up against the rocks quite hard, and the other one that just plops into the water is now in heavy armor, just sort of like flapping around in the water as the dwarf that got you there just turns and just runs out of the cave.
I also run.
You've now found yourself moving quicker than you wanted. You didn't even know you were running. As soon as you heard run, it was like all in one go. These guards flew everywhere as these big black monstrous arms from either side fling these guards, and the dwarf, full well seeing that, wide-eyed just runs, and he probably took the advice as well, and you make your way out of the mine. As you come back up to the mine, and the moon, like, big and bright, shining you in the face, and the Crown's Guard, stop behind you. What do you want to do?
I'm just going to keep running, and make my way back to my lodgings.
Okay, so you run. So before you see a big encampment of like all these makeshift buildings and things like that, plus the tavern that you just sort of like left. It's all just newly constructed, so it's like some of them is roofs, very basic. These just everything on wooden stilts sort of thing. Now the echo from the Crown's Guard coming out of the chain, like, stop, get him! You've now just sprinted across the field. In the moonlight, you're very visible. The exit to the camp is right in front of you. The lodgings at where you were staying is off to your left, and the bar is off to your right. Where would you like to go?
I'm just gonna run and go to the left and try and get into my lodgings.
Roll a stealth check.
$11.
An 11. Okay, yeah. So you make it to your lodgings, and you're fumbling around with your keys, and you open up your door. It's literally just like a small bed, and you slam the door behind you. There is one of the guards did notice you go into your room and is now walking up. So peeping through your window, and then lying with your back against the door, you now see him walking towards you.
I just call out to him, "Hey, how's it going? It's been a bit of a misunderstanding. Pretty sure you know who I am. Do I know this guard?"
He's the guard that would one of the guards that you've just thrown.
Oh, okay. Look, there's been a big misunderstanding. I wasn't lying, but I have no idea what just happened.
He's like, I think I'm gonna be taking the dwarf's advice, and you're gonna be coming with us until the morning.
Very well.
Do you let him in?
Yeah, let him in.
They again hesitantly grab you and pull you in and put like these binds, essentially handcuffs, that like have now cuffed your hands behind your back, and they're starting to escort you towards the mining company's headquarters there, like the bigger building. And he plonks you down right in front of the building, and you are greeted. Well, straight away he knocks, and you hear like bloody fuck, like swearing and carrying on and things like that. Like, we've got one. We're keeping him till the morning. He was rifling around in the mines. I think he's a demon. I'm not too sure. And then it's like, oh my god, what the fuck? And you open the door. You are met with a female dwarven captain, which you haven't actually been formally introduced to yet, but you know that she is the leader of this mining expedition. Her name is Manstrid Copperlocks, and she's standing, even though you're kneeled down, you're actually at head height with her, and she's standing there in like a robe that's like a dwarven robe, thick fabric, long orange, like flowing hair, and she's greeting you, and she's like, we have a group of dwarves, and then we have one elf, and the elf seemingly is the one half elf arrested. We don't have a jail. We don't have anywhere to keep him. Maybe he should do a night or two in Saltmarsh.
Look, I know who you are, Mansard. I've been sent by the Crown to make sure that any archaeological evidence in the mine or archaeological relics in the mine don't get destroyed. I'm pretty sure you should know who I am. My name is Var Stanson. But there's been a bit
aware of who you are, but you know the rules like any other dwarf. No one goes in the mine after dark. That's why we've got the Crown's Guard.
Very well. I thought I saw something that was quite intriguing, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't destroyed.
Was quite intriguing, you say? And what is it? As she leans in, like nose to nose with you.
I have no idea. I don't know. It's something.
Take him to Saltmarsh. As the guard just yanks you out, and she's like, "And don't come knocking on me door again!" And then she slams the door. You are now being loaded up and put dragged with not kicking and screaming. I think you've just sort of
I'm just giving up. I'm just being
you
dragged.
just limp as the guard's like, "Fuck," and he's dragging you.
I can walk if you want.
The other guard.
I'm going to call up to the guard and say, look, wouldn't it be easy for you if I just walked next to you? I'm not going to go anywhere. Look at the size of me.
Roll persuasion.
Never mind.
The guard just looks at you and he's like, I'm going to keep dragging. And he's dragging you over to a carriage and stuff, which is already packed, and it's not by any means a jailer's, in a cage or anything like that. You are still bound, but as you're being loaded up, the guard that you slammed up against the wall quite hard, he's now coming out of the mine. You can see him just holding his helmet under his arm and just like holding his head as he's walking out, and he sees you and just gives you a glare as you hear like of the horses.
I kind of wave a little bit through my cuffs, like, hey.
You're behind your back, so it's kind of maybe just like you stick your hand out to the side and you just wave your hand a little bit as he's just like scratching his head, and he looks like he's heading in the direction of Manstred. And that's where we're going to finish with you. Who are we up to next? Let's go with Withers.
It's me.
That's for you. So Withers, you have just woken up in the top story of the tavern that you stayed in. Immediately what you see is almost as if you are in the sleeping chambers on a boat. It is very nautically themed. No windows. You've got it's not a bad bed, but the first thing that you smell is just like the amount, like everything just smells like fish, and you don't know if that's normal or not. Although you've had quite a nice night's sleep after a stressful night prior. It's very fishy smelling, and it's a bit weird. What would you like to do, and what do people see?
Well, I'll start, I guess, with what people see. So, you'd see a female, lavender hair. I would say it's long, but not too long, kind of like mid-length long, green eyes, olive skin. Kind of like a mid-size, about 170 pounds, 165 centimeters tall, kind of, woman just waking up from a beautiful night's slumber. In
What
a
race are you,
place.
sorry?
I am a Lightfoot halfling.
Cool. As you wake up, there's like a hustling and bustling going on downstairs. You can hear a lot of glasses clinking and clanking and whatnot. As you're like, you can hear that almost through the floorboards. It's like everything's built quite shonky. It's like as if 5 boats have just been slammed together and made a tavern. That's where you are, and you are at the tippity top built room of this particular inn. What would you like to do?
I would like to go downstairs.
Cool.
To basically just figure out where I am.
Mm-hmm. As soon as you head down, so you open your door, and you can see directly across from you is another room, and then there's a small hallway that leads to some stairs that like spiral down. There is probably about 6 rooms, and you were right on the end. They're all quite small chambers, and like I said before, designed to look like and be like as if you were on a boat. So very homely for those who at sea. Do you make your way down the hallway?
Yes, so I make my way down the hallway, down the down the curved staircase to make my way down into the actual tavern to
As
basically
soon-
find out. Oh,
A few steps down, as you're making your way down, you see a barmaid just frantically pouring all different ales and things like that. There is food coming out by a dwarf holding all these different cut up fish and octopus, tentacles and all that sort of stuff. And you immediately lock eyes across from you inside of this in a ginormous hulking blue, like white skinned, but like kind of like a blue tinge to it. This 8-foot ginormous, like hulking. You don't quite know if he's a half orc or if he's a giant or like what he is. But he makes eye contact with you, and he's like, "Music, lady!" And he's clapping his hands together as you make your way down the staircase. He runs over, like he's pushed like 3 people who are having their breakfast aside, and he's doom through the thing, and he runs up and then sits like a almost like a preschooler, at the start of class with his legs crossed, and he's sitting in front of you, and he just makes eye contact with you, just locked eyes with you.
well then, so I'm gonna make my way over to say hi because
He's
obviously
right
just-
in front of
yeah,
you. He's like
he's-
sitting. He couldn't
he's
sit
right in
any
front of me.
closer to you. Yeah, he is like he is still. You still have to look up to him while he's sitting. That's how tall he is.
Yes. Okay. Well, yeah. Then I look up to him, like basically try as hard as I can to look up at him, and basically, just say hi. Do I know you? Because this person is acting as though I'm their favorite person or something.
He's noticed like the lute and like the musical instruments that you've got on your person, and he's just staring at. He's like song, and he's clapping and clinking his hands.
I choose to just say to him kindly that I've just woken up. I'm currently I don't really know where I am. I think I just want to have a moment to just look around, figure out where I am, talk to some people, and then maybe I might play you a song later.
In your I'm sorry. The barmaid catches eye of it, and she's like, "Blue, leave her alone." And as she walks around the bar and she puts her hand on, she's like, "Sorry about Blue. Sometimes he's a little bit forward." She's like, "My name's Hannah," and she goes to shake your hand.
So I shake Hannah's hand and I say, "Hi, I'm Desirous."
She's nice to meet you, Desirous. You came in quite late last night. Is everything okay?
I've got a bit of trouble going on, but I would kind of rather not really talk about it so much.
I can respect that. Some food?
I would love some food. I am starving.
She goes back behind the thing, and Blue now stands up and just takes, his monstrous body over near the front door where he is standing, and just starts to look over all the patrons again inside of the inn. And Hannah is now she's clicking her fingers and shouting out to the back to try and get some food ready and whatnot. You are now. Do you want to sit over at the bar, or what would you like to do?
I think I choose to sit at the bar so that I can talk to Hannah while she works.
Yep. So she is. I
know. I love how bartenders just love that.
Yeah, she is a blonde-haired. It's all pushed back, and she's got sort of like a bandana wrapped around her head, and it's tied. She's wearing a long dress, but her sleeves are like rolled up on the dress and everything. And she's got like all these different like bandanas and things and knickknacks all up and down her wrist and stuff. Very she likes to collect all these different nautical sort of things. Lots of little anchors dangling off her and things like that. But long blonde hair nonetheless. But definitely it's seen like salt in the sea for quite a while. Presumably she's definitely a local. What do you want to say? As she's like cooking and doing all sorts of stuff.
So I'll just ask Hannah, how long she's been, basically, where am I? What's this town? how long have you been here, to try and, I guess, find some information about the place that I'm in.
Yep. So she is. So she as she's like taking a plate of food and she turns around and she plops it on the table for you. She's like, "Been here my whole life, laddie. Ma'am. Been here my whole life, ma'am." And as she hands you this big octopus tentacle that's just slammed in front of you with an interesting looking drink placed right next to it as well. She's like, "Me and Blue have been running this tavern for, oh gee, years and years now. One of the first ever buildings made completely out of ship parts." As she stands there with like her hands on her hip.
I basically, I say I've noticed that this bar, it looks like it's been built by a bunch of ships. It's very unique. I quite like it.
Thank you. The snapping line's been a very popular spot. And then she like looks over your shoulder and she's just seeing people like walk up. She's like, "Hey, bring your plates over here." And the sailors and everyone that are standing at another table nearby is like, "Oh," and Blue just sort of like stands in front of the door as they like pick up their knives and forks and neatly put it on the table, and like, you know, they pack up their own dishes and take it over to the kitchen, and now they're moving past you. Did you want to try any of the food? Did you want to
I think I might actually like to offer to help Hannah, because she sounds very busy and she sounds like she could use a hand.
Oh, no. No help needed. Just enjoy the meal. Try the drink. See what you think.
Sure. May I ask what's in it first?
She's like,
I'm a bit weary. I've just had a bit of, I've got some issues. So
family recipe. And she just like sort of glares at you. Not glares, but she's smiling. She's just a family recipe and she's smiling.
Well, I would be delighted to try it then.
Cool. Roll a constitution save. So click on your sheet.
Constitution save?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that the... Yeah.
So click on your constitution and then...
Yep.
Yep. That's it.
Uh-oh.
What'd you get?
I got a 4.
So as you sip it, it's not that it's not beer, but you're like, "Oh, what is that taste?" As you kind of like back into the you vomit a little bit back into the mug. This is nothing like a nice, beautiful like cider or something that you've had as a halfling. Just into the mug, back into it a little bit, and just like, ugh. She goes, "We make all of our alcohol with sea bits." And she's like, and, the local that was putting his plates up onto the tavern, he goes, "It's an acquired taste. Try it again. You'll get used to it." And sure enough, without maybe not the one with the vomit, but she puts another one in front of you. And out of respect, you just sip it again. This time, no vomit. But she's like, it's not anything that she hasn't seen before. She's perfectly.
It's not you, it's me, really.
Yes, okay, perfect response. As she just sort of laughs. Like, is there anything I can help you with? Are you looking for anything in particular? Anyone?
I actually could use some help. I'm looking for somebody to help me with a quest. I don't really want to divulge too much into it right now. But basically I need some help finding a lost heirloom of mine. I've lost the other half of my mother's ring, and it has very great value to me. And the last I heard is that it was on a ship somewhere. And I'm needing to help. I need to find someone to help me find this ship.
I wouldn't trust too many people in this town, but if there's one person I do trust, and right as she's about to say the name, the door opens up and Blue's like, "Caspian!" as he grabs this human male and is almost breaking his spine and cracking his back as soon as he's walked in. Aaron, what do people see?
Well, what don't they see? Caspian Killick, human, 5 foot 7 inches of muscle. Years of hard work and fishing have left no fat on this sweaty, salty man of a body. Murky blue eyes, tan skin, black scruffy hair with a beard to match. One look at me, and you can tell I know my way around the ocean, as well as I know my way around the inn. Tanky looking armor with a worn shield and trident slung on my back. You can definitely catch the smell of fish in the air.
Yes, and it's amplified from the tavern that you're in, as Blue is literally cracking your back as, what do you want to do?
Blue, I thought we talked about this. Easy. Let's let me down.
Roll persuasion. You got it, bud?
9.
Yeah.
A 9. He doesn't put you down. He is still holding you quite firmly. He's released a little bit, and he's looking at, like, your head is up to his head. He's picked you right up off the ground. And he's just there. He's released a little bit, so you're not really in pain now. But he turns around. He's like, "Hello, look, Caspian's here!" And as she looks at you, sorry, Withers. She's like, "That's who we would trust."
Well, that's so funny that you should say that. And then he comes bursting in the door.
What a coincidence!
What a coincidence. That's fantastic. I would love to talk to you. Can I buy you a drink?
If you can get this guy to put me down, I'll buy you a drink.
She so she's turned back now, and she's gone back to cooking. She's gone out the back to almost yell at the chef as well. So she's gone around like this curtain, like beads and stuff like that, and she's yelling at this dwarven chef, like, you know, yada yada yada. Blue just walks over with Aaron. He's just bumping through the tavern and puts him on the stool right next to you, and then he just and he's awkwardly lingering behind you, bud.
Alright, thanks, Blue. I'll take it from here. Do you want to? Oh, I thought I said some seedy people out the front. You want to go suss it out, or?
I'll get him, Caspian. And
Thanks, Blue.
He walks out and opens the big door out, the slap as the door's like gone, as he's gone out the front to investigate.
I just sit down and take a big breath and be like, fuck. Love a beer.
You'd love a beer.
Keeping in mind, you've got 2 in front of you now, Withers.
Well, I don't think this is beer, but I've got one of these special family recipe drinks that Hannah gave me. I can give you one of these.
They are
delicious.
The best. They're the best. I have this every day. It's great.
And so, Aaron being a local to the tavern, no constitution check required, as Aaron just happily snatches that beer off you, and he's now happily drinking away.
This tastes kind of like vomit.
Oh, I gave you the wrong one. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's fine. It'll, next one will wash the taste away.
As you eye off the other one that she's got in front of her. So you guys are sitting there. Withers, did you want to chat to Aaron about anything?
Yes. So while I've got you here, actually, I'm on a quest. I'm trying to find a ship called Tamarot, and I believe the captain is called Sir Gol.
All right. Okay.
I have a lost family heirloom on that ship. It's the last known location. I'm desperate to find it.
Parrot, you say?
Yes, Tamarot.
Well, I'm on these waters pretty much every day, whether it's on my own little ship or whether I'm helping out one of the other locals. But, can I check, Bud? Can I check if I know the name of that ship? See if it rings a bell.
You do not know the name of that ship. The only thing that you've heard about it is, actually no. I will roll a history check. See what you can do.
Okay. 4, like a solid 4 though. That's no run of the mill 4.
It's
That's a
not
hard
ringing
4.
a bell. Maybe you heard the priest of the church say something about ships, but he's always rambling about them, and it's just skimmed straight over your head.
Okay, I'll say, Matt, listen, I've never even heard that ship before. I'm on the sea all the time. If that ship had came into this town, I'd know about it. But if you really want to find out, I know for a fact that the local priest remembers everything. So whether it's a fish, whether it's a ship, a person, if there's someone who knows about it, that's your man.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for that information. Do you happen to know where I can find the priest?
Well, it's getting pretty late. I could probably take you to him tomorrow if you like.
It's early in the morning currently.
That's what I meant. I've drank so much, it's really hard to tell your nights from days.
Go.
Let's finish off a couple more of these for breakfast, and we can make our way up if you like.
Okay, that would be very nice. Thank you so much.
So,
Next round's on you.
right as you guys are talking about who's drinking where, Blue never came back. And as the day is starting right now, all the sailors and stuff, they're all sort of making their way out of the inn. The hustle and bustle of like the morning is sort of making their way out the front. And Blue never came back. You did tell him there was someone out there, but he hasn't come back. You thought it was a bit weird. But now you can actually hear Blue standing at the front, and he's opened the door. Caspian, come look.
Huh? Alright, I better go check this out. Feel free to tag along if you want.
You going with this?
Yeah, I will tag along.
So as you push the door open more, you see 3 Crown's Guard surrounding this man in the middle of like an intersecting part. So the docks, as soon as you open the door, the docks are bang right in front of you. You see all the water and everything. And then a trail moves over to like an intersecting part where it would go further into the town, and then or more of it's like a T intersection, or they're all further along the docks. There's 3 Crown's Guard being like, he's had 1 night in prison, and he's already out again. He's taken my belt for the 3rd time. And TJ, what do people see as you're standing there, almost like defensively holding back 3 people? They haven't got their swords drawn or anything. One's just awkwardly holding his belt. And now Blue is standing on the patio. He's not going to do any. He's not going to walk down or do anything. But you've got a small halfling person and a human, and then Blue. So it's kind of like a staircase of like people. They are all out the front, and all eyes are on you, as even the dock workers have stopped. Like fishmongers have stopped chopping fish nearby. Everyone is just watching. Not a crowd has gathered, but all eyes are on you as 3 Crown's Guard, all eyes on you. What do you do? What do people see?
Well, they see standing there with being framed by sunlight is a 6'6" half orc. Purple eyes, purple wavy hair, about shoulder length, green skin. And he yells, I told you! My belt! My belt! I run this! As he lofts it up in the air.
He's just snatched it off you, so you're pointing like at the guard holding his belt as the guard's like trying to put it back on, and he's like,
yes.
He's like, you've spent 1 night in the bloody prison here. We don't want to have you back again. You were a pain in the ass.
I told you. My belt. You cannot take it back. My belt.
He's fastening it back on. He's like, I'm going to put it back in, and you're going to go back in the slammer.
Fight you for it.
Oh god.
I don't know. Just get him as the other 2 guards like come from behind you and they try to grab you. What do you do?
I slip to the side and grab one of the guard's arms in a hammerlock.
Okay, so you're going to try and restrain, so just roll a strength check for me.
12.
12? Let me see here. Let me roll. Yeah, so as the guard goes over to grab you, you sort of just move quicker than he does, and now you've locked up one of the guard's arms while the other guard is coming over to grab your other side. What do you want to do?
I push the first guard away and then turn to face the second guard and make a come on motion with my hands.
He sort of stops, and he's like, as he like goes to grab you as well. Do you resist again?
I resist.
All right, roll another strength check.
11.
11. You succeed again as he comes towards you. Like you're just gonna push his hands away this time.
No, I'm going to put him into a wrist lock.
Put him into a wrist lock. So he's like,
put him into a wrist lock. Right
jam-
there on the chest. Right
Yep.
there on the chest.
Beautiful. He's just like as he's like leaning down into it. He's like, the guard that's putting his belt back on's finally finished putting his belt on, and he's like, "You keep it back up. It's going to be more than just petty crime.
Give me the belt. Fight me
He's
for the
like-
belt. I challenge you. Fight me for the belt. Stop dodging.
So at this
Stop
point,
dodging.
you've now got a guard by his wrist, and you're holding it on the ground. You've got along the front of the shop, Aaron and Withers. You guys are watching, and more eyes are being put on you, and now there is sort of like a little bit of a small crowd like surrounding what you're doing as you're like your eyes are like darting around. You have taken notice. Roll a perception check for me, TJ.
15.
15.
Yes.
You now see two more heavier guarded people making their way through the crowd. Like, what's going on? What's going on? What do you want to do?
I release the second guard's arm,
Mhm.
and I stand up and I address the crowd.
Yep.
Ladies, gentlemen, halflings, if you have not seen me yet, I am Lance Stormbreaker, and I have come for one thing. My father, he was a famous warrior. He was a famous fighter, and so am I now. And you need to understand that I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Roll a performance check.
18.
Fantastic. You captivated the surrounding crowd as they were all like, at first, they're just like, it's just another. This is a very dingy town. Like, stupid stuff happens all the time. And to actually catch the attention of people when they're rigging their boats and getting it ready is very sort of surprising, really. Where the first guard, he's stood up now. The other one's got his belt done. The other one, they're all just rolling their eyes. And the crowd is almost like a few people like, yeah, blood, all right, he's here. And then people go back to rigging their ships and stuff. Aaron and Withers, what are you guys doing?
All right, so I shout out, all right, guys. Obviously, we've got ourselves a decent fight here. We got this guy, this orc, yeah, he's ready for a fight. We got the guard here. You're not going to let him talk to you like that, are you, guard? How about one-on-one? If he wins, he walks free. If he loses, he loses.
The guard that did his bow, he's like, we don't have space for this anymore. And they're two heavier armed guards that with much more serious face. So you probably got the idea that, Aaron, you actually do know that the three that Lance is dealing with are Green Reef guards. The ones that are approaching are Crown's Guard, which are more cutthroat with the rules. What did you want to do? So you set that up and you set it as the two Crown's Guard make their way up.
I'll just say,
into the head.
Are you guys opposed for a little fight, or what's going on? You happy for this to go ahead, or what's going on?
You're saying it to the Crown's Guard?
Yep.
And they're like, carry on.
All right. Okay, no one's gonna die here today, ladies and gentlemen. We all know each other except for these newcomers. Let's test their worth. Let's see what this new bloke's made of. If he wins, we'll keep going.
Whereas at this point, Blue, seeing the crowd and that you can't see very well, just grabs the back of your shirt and just picks you up really, really high and just like puts you on his shoulder, like on your shoulders. Do you want to resist, or do you want to just let it go ahead?
Whee!
Yes, you're gonna sit up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so with what you see,
I can see the fight from good height.
now what you see is a ginormous, not ginormous, but probably about 50, 60 people, sailors. Ben, you've definitely caught the eye of a lot of the town in a very peak period. Even Hannah's now come out, and she's now looking from the patio. You can see the two Crowns Guard, much more serious. They've got their hands on their swords, whereas the three on the ground they've got clubs maybe, but they're not reaching for them whatsoever. The guy with the belt, he puts it up, he's like, all right, what are the rules, Caspian?
Simple rules. As I start making my way around the crowd, forming a barrier, I start like symboling. We're gonna start doing some bets. I'm just like, first person to get knocked down on the ground loses. If you win, do whatever you want with the orc. If the orc wins, he goes free. Everyone.
Bandai gets his belt.
Yeah, deal. He gets your belt. Okay.
He looks at you. He's like, all right.
Come on, Greenleaf. You know your way around the ring here. This new bloke, he's got nothing on you. Come on.
This Greenreef's wearing leather-studded armor, and whatnot, and he unbuckles his studded armor, and he's just revealing sort of like a flowy pirate shirt. Throws his club on the ground. No weapons.
Yeah, obviously no weapons. We don't want to kill anyone.
And I get the money if I win, Caspian.
Yeah, I'll hold it for you. No promises. You better win.
And he goes to reach his hand into the, like, you got like a hat that you're like that you're pulling around.
Yeah.
He goes to reach in, and he's like, upfront payment first.
I give him 2 gold.
All right. He takes out 2 gold forcefully. The crowd throwing coins in, they're just something like pelting you and stuff.
I'm like jotting down faces, like all the people I know, like trying to remember who they're putting money on. I put 5 gold on the orc. I'm the underdog kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm keeping tabs in my head.
All right. TJ, roll initiative for me.
I quickly look back over at what was your character's name again with it?
Desirous.
You want to get on this, Desi? I hold the hat back like this. Oh, Riss?
Yeah, Riss. Yeah.
And I see if you want to put any wages on.
I kindly, politely just make a statement being like, I'm kind of new here. I don't really feel comfortable.
Halfway through she's speaking, I will go, no worries, more money for me.
And then,
Getting involved.
And Blue's like, some silver for her, as he reaches into a belt and he just flings one over to you.
Yeah, I catch
And
it.
he's like, do you want me to give you money, Caspian?
Yeah, all good, Blue, thank you.
More money! And then he flicks a coin just straight into the side of your head.
And I almost fall over.
Yeah, he's holding your legs. I'm gonna call you wrist, holding your legs, wrist, and you're like, and he's really happy to see what's going on. TJ, what did you roll for your initiative?
4.
4. Okay.
I was waiting to see if there were any more bets being put on before I announced that.
Yeah, so you're looking around the crowd. This is kind of like a moment that you've almost dreamed of. You're like, cool. This is awesome. And as you reach into your pouch to get your hands all nice and dusted and ready for the fight, the guard just comes swinging at you straight away. And he is going. What's your armor class?
Armor class is 10.
10. The first hit connects. Whack straight across your face when you weren't looking. You take 1 damage. So you can deduct that yourself. Now it's your turn. What would you like to do? The crowd is now cheering and like, more money, Aaron. You're struggling to try and keep up with the amount of money coming in.
3 from you, 2 from you. Okay, yeah, thank you.
I go for a chop, an open hand chop across the chest.
Yep, no worries. So on you should have. Let's pull up your character so I can run it through with you. So you should have an ability that you can roll. So first of all, you need to roll to see if you hit him.
So where do I find that one? Sorry.
It should be unarmed. Unarmed strike.
It'll be on
Unarmed
the
strike.
actions.
There we are.
attack.
Yep.
So you just
This-
should be able to roll that.
So I just
So-
roll it on hit
so-
DC.
Hit/DC. Yep.
24.
24. So what did you want to do? You wanted to chop him?
Wow.
Yep. Open-handed chop right on the peck.
No worries. It's straight away. So he whack, and you've recoiled from it. Come back and just boom, chopped him straight in his chest. Boom. He felt it hard. He rolled some damage.
Damage. 7.
7 damage to the guard. Whack! This strike that he got hit with was a little bit more than what an unarmed strike is. You know, normally fisticuffs is normally a fair fight, but nothing with a monk. Just whack this karate chop into his chest. You take the wind straight out of his chest as he stumbles back. He's like pulls the sweat out, and the sun's now starting to beat down a little bit. He musters up himself. He holds his belt weirdly because he's like he doesn't want you to take it again. And what's your armor class?
10.
Running at you with another strike, he smacks you across the face. This one dealing 4 damage as it really connects. This one whips your head back. It's your turn again. What do you want to do?
I want to grapple him.
Yeah, sure. You can attempt to grapple. Yeah.
Yep.
If you attempt to grapple, just go for a strength check.
21.
Ooh.
21. As you whip your face over to the side. You come back with purpose. You know, your eyes. You know, this is the moment I've trained for. And how did you want to grapple him?
I want to grab both his arms in a chicken wing,
Mm-hmm. You successfully did that because he rolled a 3.
knee him in the gut, and put his head in between my thighs.
Yep. And you've got him. You've tangled him up almost like a pretzel. He is now on the ground. The 2 crowns guard, one of the heavier armed one with his sword. He puts his sword, clicks it back into place. He's like, "All right, enough!" And he slams his foot on the ground with the other guard, almost pushing him back. "All right, back to work!" As the crowd starts to disperse, and you've tangled up. The other 2 green reefs like, "Well,
He could have come back.
let him go at least," because you've got him locked up. He's like, barely
No pole driver.
The crowd sort of, with the Crown's Guard order, are now moving back. They've got their eyes still on you. They're looking, and they're all going. Even the ones on the boat that were about to leave, they're like, "All right, now we'll take the rope off," and they're heading out. What do you want to do with him?
All bets are final.
I let him. Sorry. I let him go, and I pat him on the back and say, "Good fight. Good fight."
He scrounges back to his leather armor, and he grabs it and he flings it on, clicks it back on, and then just like he's getting back into his leather armor, and he's like, "What the fuck? Just don't go stealing people's belts, and we won't have to lock you up for dumb shit." And then the other 2 guards join him, and they just start moving back.
I won it in a challenge. I won it in a fight. It was a fair fight.
He's like, "Oh, fucking weird bloody orcs." You are now left when Blue's just like, "Yeah!" up on the patio. He's clapping. He's clapping, and as you're down there, Withers, he takes you off your shoulders. Blue puts you down onto the ground. Hannah's like, "Oh my god, this town!" As she moves back into the and starts to clean up again. She's like, "Blue, come on, clean up!" And he's like, "Oh!" And he moves back and he ducks his head under the doorway as he makes his way back into the house. It's now, most eyes are off you guys. You're in the central part of town. As you've got a hat full of money.
I'm quickly dishing up everyone's winnings before they all take off for the day. Like, good bet. Sorry, mate. Good bet.
Thanks, Caspian. As they're like,
all good. Love a good wager. And then I've won myself a tidy little profit. I'm up a little bit.
You are up a little bit.
How much is he up?
Roll a 1d20 as.
Okay.
Oh, actually, can you? Yeah, you got dice.
Yep. I got a 14.
14? You managed to put together about 4 gold worth of profit for yourself. TJ, you've got an additional... Did you give TJ some coin as well, Az?
Did he get the belt in the end, or did the guard run off?
He's got the belt. Like he's got the belt with him.
Okay.
He's gone, but no, TJ doesn't have the belt. The guard's got his belt. He's holding onto it for most of the fight. Maybe why he lost. He was one arm fighting.
I flick TJ a two gold, and I say, we'll find you someone else with a better belt, something more worthy for your strength, mate.
Well, don't you get it? I have to win every belt. It's the only way I'll be as good as my father ever was.
Okay, well that was a leather belt. Let's get you something. Let's get you a platinum belt. Let's get you one of them.
What's platinum?
Way shinier. He's better. Trust me. The belt to have. It's probably better than any belt your father ever had.
Hey. You put respect on his name. You put respect on my father's name.
Anyway, let's keep. Hey, good fight. Good fight.
Withers, you as you flick Withers her winnings that Blue threw in for her.
Oh yeah.
So Withers, you got 6 more silver.
So
If you wanna
put that in my inventory, right?
Yes, you can pop that into your inventory as Caspian runs over and hands it to you. So, with the fight concluding and the town going back to their business and Caspian, Lance and Riss all together, we're gonna skip. We're gonna time jumpy sort of thing again. We're gonna head back to Alice, who has set up her camp. The sun is starting to break, but it's still quite dark. You've had a reasonable good sleep, something to eat, a lot to drink, and you are on the road, and you're looking at your bow that your friend gave you, and you've noticed that through playing around with it and whatnot, when you knock an arrow into it, it glows, just with like a slight shimmering of like moonlight. Maybe whether it be the elven history or the bark itself, not too sure, but it's definitely way cooler than your last bow. And it looks almost like a wizard's staff, but it's been bent into a bow. It has no string. Anything you just lock into this small little nook, and a bit of wood just flicks out onto the side. It then just, as you pull back, it feels as if there is string there, as you can like let loose. It's an interesting bow with elven, your elven history and things like that. It's not too crazy strange, but it's definitely one of your most precious items. As you're looking at that, you start to hear like a wagon wheel, like down the road. Roll a perception check for me.
11.
11. You can see lots of transported goods, lots of things from the mine that look all strapped up. There is 2 Crown's guards sitting on top of this with 2 horses. It's a big carriage, and on the back you can just make out a like you can see like a cage or something. It's quite far in the distance, but you've got great eyesight being an elf, and you can see a cage. Maybe there's someone in it. You're not sure. What do you want to do?
I want to quickly. I'm assuming there's bushes along this road, or at least something, at least a tree. I quickly duck behind the tree and hide, and kind of watch as the wagon like drives past.
You roll a stealth check, and we'll see if they see you or not.
17.
17. Hold on 1 second. So as the guard looks out, as the guard looks out, he's actively looking. He's like, "Stop!" As the carriage almost comes up with the tree that you're behind. He also sees the camp on the side of the road with the fire still sort of like smoldering, and like maybe like a log or something that you were sitting on. And just like your bedroll and everything that you just like left on the side of the road. The guard, stop, hold on. And he gets off and he starts to walk towards the tree. Okay. Now, while that's happening, Cam, you're in the back in the cage, just, I don't know, rambling, talking, saying whatever you want to say.
I'm just quiet. I'm just letting things happen.
So you're looking over at the tree with the guard. The guard is just walking over to the tree. What do you want to do, Alice?
So I notice the guard, I try not to look around. I try to peek
Sure.
to see if he's actually making his way towards the direction, see if he's actually noticed me yet.
Do another stealth check.
17?
He didn't see you. Did a little peep, and he must have just stubbed his toe as he dropped his eyesight of the tree for a second as he keeps on moving towards you. He doesn't see you. He's now looking over at your camp, like what was there.
Okay. Is there 2 or 1 guard that's looking at the camp at the moment?
There is one guard sitting on top of the wagon, and he is just more worried about Cameron and the things on the wagon. He's got his hand on his sword. And then you've got the other ones off the wagon walking towards the tree that he thought he saw someone go to.
I'm going to sneak up to his back, behind him, and see if I can quickly knock him out and kind of hide him away behind the tree.
Can I roll
The
a
other
perception
guard
check?
You can, Cam. What are you trying to perceive?
Just see if there's anything, like, see what's going on out there. I got a 22.
Yeah, you can. You got a clear view of what's going on. You can even see Alice behind the tree. You can just the angle that the back of the cart's on is you can see Alice just sort of standing there with the guard walking to the wrong side of the tree. Alice, roll a dexterity check for me.
14.
14. Yep. Okay. So the guard rolled a natural 1. So
Thank God.
he walked up to the tree and he's grabbed it and he stubbed his toe from before. This time just slipping on some moss that was on the bottom of the tree as you wrap round and you wanted to knock him out, right? And drag his body around the side of the tree. Is that what you were trying to do?
Yeah, I was trying to drag him around so the other guard didn't notice he was gone.
Cool.
I call out and I go to the other side of the cage and it's like, hey, guard, there's something over in the bushes on the other side of the cart.
I glare at the car. I go like, "Excuse me."
There's something on the other side, like pointing the opposite direction of the cart to what's going on.
Okay. So, you've grabbed the guard and you've sort of like knocked him out with just like this finesse sort of strike, and dragged him around to the other side of the tree, almost holding him upright. You knocked him out and he's fallen behind the tree all in one sort of go. Luckily, the other guard, he's actually I need to roll for him. Okay, he rolled a 3. These guards are stupid. They're looking at the camp, and then he's heard Var in the back say, "Look over there," and he looked over there. Perfect, no worries. As now you've got the guard knocked out behind the tree. What did you want to do?
Yeah, so as the guard is distracted and looking at the other direction where Cam pointed, I quickly run up behind sneakily and see if I can knock him out too.
The guard that's on the wagon?
Yes.
So roll a stealth check to see if so actually roll a stealth check with advantage because Cameron has told him to look the other way and he's doing that.
How do I do with advantage?
Right click.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, right click.
With advantage, 21.
21. You have. I don't even think I need to roll. Yeah, this guard. You sneak up onto the wagon. You've climbed up. You haven't made a sound, even through like the sludgy sort of mud and sand. And you come out of like the grass bit where the trees were. No worries, not slipping on any moss like the other guard did. You've climbed up onto the wagon. Sort of like threw yourself over, and now you're like sitting like right next to him. And you want to try and knock him out?
Knock him out as well, yeah.
Cool. Go for an dexterity, another dexterity roll with advantage.
18.
18. You got a 2. You just elbow him. So you fly up, zip, sit next to him, and crack him straight in the side of the helmet. And from the force, surprisingly, from a female elf, just doing her thing, the force in the elbow strike was actually a lot more than probably, and he just sort of slides completely off the seat and onto the ground. He's now unconscious on the ground. The other guard is still, from what you can tell, unconscious and not moving behind the tree. What did you want to do? You've now got the reins of 2 horses sitting on a wagon filled with supplies.
I turned to the cage and noticed there's someone in there, and I go like, "Oh hey, how's your day going? Looks like you're having a bit of a rough day."
Hi. Hi.
Would you like some help?
Yeah.
How much
sure.
gold you got on you?
Not much gold.
I need
Actually.
numbers.
No, not much
Come
gold.
on. I have about one gold.
If I helped you, and you're going to rob me?
No. I'm going to let you out. I'm going to search for the keys and let you out for 1 gold.
Roll a perception check. See if you can find the keys.
10?
10. You can't see the keys at the moment. It's not the guard on the ground. It's not there. And there's nothing on the wagon.
Okay. Where are we heading to? Out of curiosity, then.
I think we're going to we're going to Salt Marsh. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. We're going to go up the road a little bit. I'm going to hide these 2 bodies in the bushes somewhere. We're going to go up the road a little bit and kind of stash the wagon. And I believe I have lockpicking
You do?
things. Yeah, and then I'm going to see if I can lockpick this lock for you
Sure.
and see if we can quickly get it. So we're going to go probably 20 meters up the road after I hide these bodies. And we're going to see if we can lockpick this thing
Cool,
out
so you're
and see if
gonna
we can
take-
set you free.
You're gonna take it. So you guys are probably. So it's obviously the sun's just starting. So as you take off and you leave the 2 Crowns Guard either side of the road with Cameron in a cage, like, okay, I guess we're doing this. You now make your way down the road. The sun is now peeking over just starting to break through the trees and things. To your left is a massive coastal scenery. You're seeing the ocean and steep cliffs that just drop off into the ocean. On your right, the familiar woods and things that you're used to, and just paths and things going through the bushes. Either side of you, it's not there. There's nothing too ominous or daunting. Where did you want to try and hide this wagon?
Yeah, so go off the side to the right of the road and go into the forest a little bit. So probably like a good 5-10 minutes into a little bit deeper forest, so it's not easy to find as well. And then try and lockpick this lock off.
Cool. Okay. So you roll an animal handling to see how you go with traversing this wagon with the 2 horses.
Just interject. This road is pretty dangerous. There can be bandits along this road occasionally.
You probably not bandits because you're in between the Dwarven mine and the settlement, but other things are probably to be more wary of. Yes.
Yeah. So just
you are not near any big name dangerous forest. This is just a lining forest that lines along the road.
Yeah. So I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5 on the animal handling.
On the animal handling.
So the horses now sort of realizing that they're leaving the people that obviously brought them there, and not reluctantly going, but they are. Reluctantly going, but they are going as a horse will do. The issue you do find is that the soil is like waterlogged and whatnot. So getting the wagon into the forest just isn't happening. Even the horses are starting to sludge down. And you get it off the road and in like next to a bush, but you don't actually get it all the way in. You're not fully hidden.
Okay. So I just pretty much give up and go like, well, this ain't gonna happen, isn't it? So I quickly untie the horses and let them go, let them run off into the forest.
We could have used those horses.
Yeah, I'm not asking you at the moment. It's okay. I prefer to walk.
You undo the horses and the wagon slumps down into the ground, almost like a seesaw that's way too heavy. Cameron's like up in the cage as it's like the weight of it's gone up, so now he's just up the top there, and you're gonna climb up and let him out.
Yeah, so I'm gonna climb up and see if I can
attempt to go for it.
Yeah, lockpick this thing.
Lockpicking is I believe it's a dexterity check, but I could be wrong. But we can just go ahead and do dexterity, and then it will be whatever your roll is. It's +2. Oh, sorry, it'll be plus your proficiency, whatever your proficiency is. You might even be able to even click on the lockpick. Just have a little squiz.
So Dex, I'm gonna find where the lockpick is. I'm assuming it's in equipment.
Inventory.
Oh yeah.
See what it say.
I don't see lockpick. I must be blind.
That's okay. We can just do a dexterity check. It's fine. Like I know that
19. Then
So
try
you-
to dex save.
Yep, and not a save, just a general roll.
Okay.
So just click. So dexterity,
Yeah, there you go.
and then it's plus your proficiency, which is 2.
Okay, so it would be 23.
Beautiful. They're almost just without a worry. You've opened your little pouch on the side of your hip. You pull out the lock picking things. It's almost like a what did you want? How did you want to do it? Like a no look, just like a like.
Yeah, so I literally like pulled up a lockpick and grabbed the tools, just like, yeah, done. Yeah, you're free now.
Yeah, it's not
That
a
was cool set.
It wasn't the best. Like it was designed to keep people.
It was
in
a
the
cheap.
cage,
it was
but
from like the cheap shop 99-cent store. It wasn't even worth.
might
I
as
could have
well have
broken
been
it.
because the lock just. Who needs keys? As you like just 2 simple movements. Ching, the lock pops open. Cam,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Thanks. And I just kind of like climb out from inside and like pop down and say, so why did you do that?
Well, I saw you're in trouble, and I'm not a big fan of like people have been locked up, and you kind of looked sad in the back of the cart. I thought he looks like he needs to be set free.
Yeah,
Looked
no,
like
I
he
don't.
needs to be run wild.
I don't do too well in the back of vehicles or
Does anyone?
objects. No, I'm not.
And as you say that, you notice the horses are just like actually leaving. And so
Like,
It's okay. I put my arm around each other. It's okay, buddy. We'll go for a nice walk. And I tried to pick
and
his
I like
pocket.
stiffen up a little bit, and it's like, oh,
and you try to pick his pocket.
Try to pick his pocket for gold.
Roll a sleight of hand check. Cameron, roll a perception check. It's against each other.
25.
24.
Oh.
So both keenly alert characters, you do manage to slip your hand into his pocket, or a coin purse that was sort of sitting there. What did you want to? What did you want?
I just want the gold and quickly and just pocket it in my back pocket.
Just a few coins, or are you like
Just-
trying to take the whole thing?
No, just a few coins. I'm not being greedy.
Okay, so minus 1 or 2 gold pieces for Alice's trouble, and Cameron just like looking over right, and you're like, oh, that was close. That was very close as you pull your hand back out.
So like I pull away and I pull my mace off my hip. It's like you're a bandit. Why are you helping people then pickpocketing? What is your problem?
Hey, this is just, I see it was fair. You said you weren't going to pay me to let you free. I thought it would just be fair. I believe in quid pro quo. I've set you free.
I did
It's
not
okay.
ask for your help.
I just see people in. No, it's okay. It's right. You can put your mace down. Anyway, I'm going to Saltmarsh anyway to do some things. If you want to join, you can. It's up to you. I'm just prefer walking. That's why I didn't care about the horses. Plus, I feel like they should be set free anyway because they're free wild animals. So yeah, I'm going to walk to town. If you want to follow, go ahead. Doesn't bother me. That's up to you.
But,
I
just-
reluctantly put my mace back and just say, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna need that that silver back.
I give him 1 silver back. So,
Ah,
we'll go 50-50. I'll give you 1. I keep 1.
Okay, there it is. So then, you guys both agree you're just gonna walk down the road back to Saltmarsh.
Yep. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Alice, but I'm just gonna
Yep,
be like
so-
stepping a few steps behind her.
Yep.
And
Okay.
I'm gonna try. I think we're gonna try to do the pin smooth. We keep switching back and forth because I think we're a little bit like, what are you doing?
Fantastic. So both of you roll a perception check as you make your way to Saltmarsh.
24.
8.
24. Very nice. Okay, so as you make your way down the road, it's much of the same scenery. What does keep catching your eye is the ocean and just how vast it is and how many ships currently are moving around on the water. Like, it's sort of weird to even just see one. You can see like maybe 3 ships over in the distance. And as you walk up onto the walls of Saltmarsh, it starts to clear out. It's obviously, this is a very established part of town. You both pass by small little like hobbit holes and things like that are on the sides of the roads with small farming crops, big farming crops as well. As you move more towards Saltmarsh, you see a female halfling, and she's just doing her thing in the like ploughing her fields and whatever else, and yada yada yada. You guys just keep on walking past. You make your way up to the gates of Saltmarsh. It's now the sun's coming up a little bit. Still morning, definitely still morning. But now it's a much brighter image.
As we get closer to town, I start to like try and pat myself down because
Wait, is he still got in handcuffs?
Actually, yes, he would be, but for the story's sakes, we'll say your lockpicking flicked it out of him, flicked them off him.
As we get closer, I try to fix myself up, like my appearance, because I've been obviously locked up all night, and try to like straighten up my robes and like my hair and stuff, so I look presentable as I'm coming into town.
Yep. So you are greeted with a big a wall that sort of goes around the entire town. To your left is a big cliff that, as you move down, to your right is a big open field, and to your left is a big cliff that almost overlooks the entire town. A big stone wall goes from the side of the cliff all the way on the left, all the way, and follows it all the way to the water's edge, where it then dips off into another cliff. So to try and go around the wall, you would be falling a long way down and into the water. The stonework is like sort of patchy, as if it's like a wall on top of a wall. It's all like being built and then fixed and then built and then fixed, just with more stone, all that sort of that sort of image. There's nothing on top of the wall. It can't be patrolled upon. It's just the wall then stops. But you're met with a massive gate. What do you guys do?
Is the gate closed?
It's open.
Stroll on through.
Walk on through.
Go find tavern.
Roll a perception check, both of you.
7.
20.
20. Okay, so Alice, you're just cool. Big wall. Va, you move in and you notice the guards either side of the wall, and you also notice a third guard sitting on a stool. They're armed with general, but look a bit more old timer, a bit older. Those that maybe don't do patrols and things anymore and have intentionally asked for the gate spot. That's what you are met with as you start to approach the gate.
Are they crown guards or are they the greens guards?
You presumably Crown's Guard.
Okay.
There's 3 guards, and the walls. As you come closer to the wall, you notice it's crumbling from the top, and just like the sea air and everything that's really damaging the wall. It's still high and standing, but you make your way in, and one of the old timers sort of walks up. And he's like, "Business in Saltmarsh."
Yeah, we've got some problems to. I've got a report about the mines.
What he said.
This is just a traveler that's come along with me.
Yeah, who sent you?
Sorry, give me a second.
Whatever he says.
Yeah, you're just taking a back seat in this one,
Yeah.
Alice. Looks like Jury's doing the talking.
Manstad Copperlocks.
Yeah. Yeah, she's bossy, alright. And he like relaxes his stance on you and just says, wouldn't mind. Sort of like turns his head and puts his hand out for like money or something like that. He's like, can't have you coming in with weapons like that.
Oh, you know that the archaeologist guilds permit us to have a mace on us at all times.
He's like, Alice, the one of the guys looks at you, he's like, Elven, the other guy that's sitting down stands up, he's like, is that Elven wine? I haven't had Elven wine in a while, I wouldn't mind a sip of Elven wine.
5 gold for a sip.
How about a sip and then we'll let yous in without
Yeah, that will
informing
do.
all the other hoorah, and then you just jam the wine cast in his mouth. He's probably
sure.
going, so like, not that everyone knows this, but just for the sakes of it, from what they're serving in town, elven wine is like holy, oh my god. You know what I mean? That is insanely good. His eyes pop, and he's like, I'm gonna find out where you get that.
I poured the sip. I'm like, okay, open your mouth. I'll pour it in because I don't want to lose all of this. I'll give you a sip.
Yeah, he's I'm gonna have to find where I get some of that. As they like gesture you through, you guys can carry on into the town.
As we walk through, I say to Alice, look, I'm here with the crown, but there's a bit of a complication. But just if we come across crown guards, just let me do the talking, and we should be able to get away with it.
Okay, you're with the crown. I wouldn't.
I'm technically with the archaeologist guilds, but the crown has gotten us involved in the operations nearby.
I keep my reservations to myself, and kind of because I've seen him get me through the gates and everything without any hassles. And I'm kind of like, okay. And
yeah, no, you don't have to say any more than that. Yeah, cool. So you guys head on. You're taking the main road into town. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I said that in Elvish, so like only Jeff and I could hear that.
Cool. Sounds good. So you notice a massive farm off to the left, and you make your way through. Now you're inside the walls. You're coming across. You see the barracks and a jail on your left. There is guards stationed everywhere. These are heavy armored Crown's Guard, 100%. To your right, you see a tavern that is filled with. It's expansive. It looks like it's just recently had a renovation of like 1,000 more tables and timber planks. Like it's a small tavern, but then it's the outside of it is grown enormous with beer barrels stacked to the roof. Cameron, this just through general chatter that this is the inn that the miners go to on their days off. Like the dwarves go on the weekends when they're not working. They actually all come here in hundreds. They'll come into town and they will flood this particular tavern. It's called the Wicker Goat. Cam, you do know what that means. Do you guys want to do anything here? Or are you going to keep carrying on into town?
Hey, tap Cam on the shoulder. Can we go for a beverage?
I'm kind of a bit. I'm still trying to work out what I want to do, so I just nod, say, all right.
Just one.
Let's go.
Yep. So as you walk up to this tavern, it like very expensive. All these new additions, additions. It is a 2-story building, and you are met with a man who's just cleaning a table. There is absolutely no people in here. It looks like everyone's either left for the day, or whatever. Like it's bare. It's not a weekend time right now.
We walk up to the bar and just sit down, and I just kind of like hold my head between my, like hold my face between my face. I just
hand up and go like 2 beers.
Yeah. So the man in front of you, a big grey beard, combed back hair, and he's got the word escapes me, apron on, and he's like, need a drink?
Yes.
He just pours 2 drinks, slams them in front of you, 2 silver each.
I look at Alice and it's like, you're paying.
I look at Cam and go like, you're paying.
He grabs the beers again and just like pulls them back towards himself.
I look at Cam and go, rock, paper, scissors, and whoever loses pays.
Fine.
You guys
2, 3.
can do a rock, paper, scissors.
How about we just do a dice roll for it? D20.
Yeah, let's just do a dice. I think it's life easier.
Whoever gets the highest wins.
Yeah.
So both of you just roll.
I rolled a D20.
Yeah.
I rolled D20.
Or Cam, roll 2 dice. 1 for Jiff and 1 for yourself. I don't think you can do general rolls. If you can,
Yeah,
great.
Jiff 1.
You can, yeah. It's in the bottom left.
Cool.
Jiff 1.
Excellent.
I got a 10. I just rolled my personal dice.
I got 19.
Cam's
All right.
paying.
Well, I give 2. It's 4 gold each. A full silver each.
Silver. No. So 2 silver each. So 4 in total.
Okay. How does that? I don't have 2 silver. I've got gold. So
you can just break it. So 1 gold is 10 silver. So just do the math. All right, so you give him the silver. He takes it, puts the beers in front of you. These beers look normal. They do not look like fishy beers. They look and smell fine. You guys
I just like grab the beer and I just like chug it down in one swig.
I grab it and take a sip. Go like, oh, just like, I'll stomach this.
I just like gulp it down, just slam it down. It's like
You guys are drinking in the corner at a table that you guys didn't see. There is a dwarf. He looks up at you guys. He's like, "It's not the weekend for drinking."
Every day, I say back in Dwarvish, every day is a weekend for drinking.
He nods and just puts his beer. He holds his beer up to you. He's like, "Hey," and now he's drinking as well. The barkeep is like, "Another round."
I'm okay.
I'm gonna sip this for a while. It's gonna take me a while to stomach this.
No worries. You are, and then the door opens, and another 2 Crowns Guard come in and they take a seat at the table. They're now not looking around. They look sort of like off duty, but they're well equipped. They come in and sit down.
I just try to pay no attention to them, and I just
stick to myself.
Stay seated. I just say to Alice, so what are you doing in Saltmarsh?
I defer not to. I only just met you. I'm not divulging what I'm actually here. I'm just here for personal reasons. That's why I'm here. That's all you need to know.
Well, I guess that makes 2 of us then.
Such good conversation.
Like, I'll just mellow in my beer for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. So we can say now that you're going to drink up your beer and you're going to finish up in the tavern, or is there anything that you wanted to do or ask anyone in the tavern? As you noticed maybe 1 or 2 more Crowns Guard coming and joined those 2.
Just on this Saltmarsh, is there anybody else from the archaeologist guilds? That I would know.
There is the person you've been in contact with is Eliana Fireborn, and he's the captain of the Crowns Guard. He is also in league with the Archaeological Guild to a degree, but more just in contact with you specifically because of your you share in knowledge, interest in knowledge, I guess.
Yep.
With books and things like that.
Eliana Fireborn. Okay. I'm gonna keep that in note and I'm just gonna try and just be casual and try and just gather my thoughts in the bar.
How many beers is he drunk?
I just have one.
Just one. Yeah. So finish up your beers and leave the tavern, or did you want to stay?
So I'm just gonna say, look, I've got things I need to do in the town. If you want to keep the heat off yourself, you can come with me since I have allegiance with the crown. But it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Cam for now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And everything, just while it's daylight.
I'm gonna make my way to where Aliana.
No worries. So you leave the tavern and you make your way back down the main road, right? What you were greeted with as you've moved past all the towns, you've gone over the town bridge, and now you're in the heart of Saltmarsh. The docks and there's markets and tents. There's people selling fish. Everyone's just oddly, for this time at Saltmarsh, normally everybody's taken off. But you walk up upon and you look down, and what you see is an orc standing in the middle of all these people being like, "I want the belt!" As you stand and you're looking down over the town, you see a man running around with a hat and a ginormous blue guy standing on a deck just clapping his hands, and there's uproaring and cheers. There's people being thrown around. You're looking down and you see all these things, and a man comes up behind you and touches your shoulder. And that's where we're going to finish today's D&D session.
Bum, bum, bum.
Cool. All right, that was good.
I'm Caspian Killick.
So, thanks all for the. Sorry if it was all over the place. Everybody did a fantastic. For the first session, fantastic. I hope everybody had fun with it. So to clarify, you are all in the same spot. You're all a little bit disjointed, but it's all come together now. We are all in the heart of Saltmarsh. in the afternoon, and yeah, we'll see what you guys get up to.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Desi.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out today. It's been good. What did everybody think of the adventure so far? What's everybody's thoughts?
It's hot. It's the sexiest one now. Oh, okay, calm down, everyone.
There's
That
a
was
rumor
certainly
about
a
you
lot
and a
of
fish
fun.
or something, isn't there?
No. I never had sex with a fish.
I heard a fishy rumor as well, so
Yeah, there's
not
a few
true.
fishy rumors going in the chat.
So while we still got a couple of people, did everyone what did everybody think about the characters and stuff? Like talking to you guys, the cast. Has everyone got a good image of what everyone looks like? Have we got our classes sort of identified a little bit? How did you guys feel?
Starting around the room, let's go start with Jiff.
yeah, no, I can kind of gather what everyone kind of is. The only one that I'm still a little bit confused about is what Wither actually is. I know she's done some talking, that's about it. And I'm like, I still don't know. But yeah, I'm starting to gather what everyone's looking like and everything, and we're all slowly coming together, and I'm having like a lot of fun. And all the characters, I'm loving TJ's character because as soon as you said what you're doing, it's like I know exactly what you are. I know exactly what you're going for.
Me too. Me too.
'Cause-
I think Withers is a halfling, so they're like
Yeah.
a
Yes.
hobbit almost. Yeah, really
Yeah,
short.
and
But
she's got purple hair. She's small and petite, and she likes her musical instruments. If we want to go ahead and belt a clue into the
Yes.
into what class Withers might be.
Ooh, I wonder.
next, TJ, what's your thoughts?
I'm really enjoying this so far. It's certainly a lot of fun. I'm trying to figure out what I want, as a player, what I want to remember about the other characters and what I
Yeah.
don't, because my character is, the way I'm planning on playing it is not very he's not very attentive.
So, as a general rule, especially touching on that, if you guys aren't there, you don't really know it really. So for instance, using Jiff's bow as an example, you guys don't actually know at all what Jiff's bow does until Jiff will shoot it, and you'll see visually what happens. So there's a lot of role playing in that element where I won't interject and cut it off unless it's really breaking character or something. But for the most part, everyone's doing really well. So yeah, if you want to play true to your characters, you don't know something, then just say I probably don't know that, or Jason, or Desi, would I know that? Ask the question, and we can just clarify it really quick.
Yep. It's also important, if you guys haven't already, have a notepad, so you can make note of things that you do or don't know.
Yeah, so on your D&D Beyond, the notes section, you guys can edit and do whatever. I'm not touching your notes section anymore. So names that I say, people that you guys meet, all that sort of jazz, write it down either on D&D Beyond or in person, whatever's easiest for you. Because when I say a name you guys need to go kill this guy, or you guys need to interact with this person, she owns the inn, and you walk in and you're like, what's your name? And she's like, all right, get out. It's probably a lot better that you guys know the name of who you're stalking or what you're doing, all that sort of jazz. But
It'll help if you don't take notes of things you're not actually there for.
Yeah, so you're not trying to remember something that doesn't technically.
but for the
you don't
most
remember.
part, everyone will. Once we've worked out what's happening with Jiff and Jury, we will move forward into everyone being a group, hopefully, and then for the most part, everyone will know everything. So
Withers, what do you think so far?
Yeah, really, I'm having fun. I like how kind of everyone's character is slowly, it's all coming together.
All coming together.
We'll come together.
Oh, then this.
Oh no! Oh no! Aaron.
So we will sorry, it's just touching on. We will launch into.
Yep.
He's right.
Headset. Yep.
Ah.
We'll launch into the the full adventure. That was obviously our campaign 0. So the first time when we come back, it'll be episode 1, and then we'll actually be able to move into campaign. This session was to try and get a feel for a couple of characters around the town, a couple of places around the town, and you guys as characters as a whole really paint the picture of what everyone is. That was the point of today's session. So it wasn't like a ginormous kraken burst out of the water and thankfully we have heroes here to fight. It was supposed to just be nice and fun. So
Yep. And Aaron, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I had good fun. I had lots of beers, so it's a win-win from me.
Perfect. And I've had a great time. We've got a good crowd here. I'm excited to see how things go for the next episode. So for all of you guys in chat, the next episode will be in 2 weeks' time. So we're going to be doing this every fortnight. When we do eventually reach affiliate, I will do reruns on that second week. So if you'd miss it, you can catch up. This will also be posted on the YouTube channel for Quick Save Gaming. So if you do want to catch up, if you didn't get the catch at all, it's all going to be there. We'll be doing clips and highlights as well. So be sure to follow Quick Save Gaming in the community. Check us out on Discord as well. Do believe I don't have a command set up for the Discord links, but I'm going to drop that in the chat right now before we head off. Just so if anybody wants to stay up to date, they can check us out in the Discord. Pressing the right one. We'll keep you up to date with everything that's going. Eventually, we may even have behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on in there as well, just to, kind of get everyone involved in the situation. All right, so there's the Discord link. So, again, thanks. A big thanks to everybody who stopped in tonight. Thanks to everyone who raided, all the new followers, everybody who's a friend or family or is from our existing communities in the Twitch world. Thank you for being here tonight. So
Thanks,
on behalf
Grandma,
of
for watching.
on behalf of everyone here. So
thank you
I'm going to roll the credits. Just so you guys are aware, the music tonight it's all Kevin McClay, so there will be shout outs for that in that as well. So just giving them a credit, thanks for the music. So yeah, well, I'll roll the credits and thank you guys for being here tonight. Bye.
thank you. Bye-bye.